How about you tell your daughter to work on her jump shot, stop missing layups? She missed a layup in the last preseason game on a fast break.
But here's the catch. This wasn't about performance. It was about perception. Reese had a solid game, but Clark, she was the headline. And that's where the real drama lives. Not in the game itself, but in the growing gap between who gets celebrated and who gets questioned.
You wonder why you have the least amount of fans showing up in attendance at your games. That all has something to do with it. You're not relatable. You're not likable. People only hear from you when you showing half off, your body, or you're showing off what you're wearing, right? Trying to make a fashion statement. You're showing off your new weave. It's so unbelievable. You're showing off your new lashes, right? But you don't talk basketball now.
From the moment the ball tipped off at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, it was clear. This wasn't about a win. This was about pride, power, and proving who owns the spotlight. And when the buzzer sounded, Caitlin Clark left no doubt. For over a year, fans have waited for this rematch. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, two of the most polarizing stars in basketball, back on the same court. It all started in college, the 2023 NCAA Championship, the trash talk, the finger point, the viral storm. Then came the WNBA. Rookie seasons filled with pressure, highlight plays, and endless media coverage. But this was different. The 2025 season opener wasn't just about basketball. It was about a rivalry that now defines the league. From the opening minute, Clark looked locked in. In the first quarter, she buried a deep three that set the tone. By halftime, she had insert points, and the crowd was electric. Therefore, this wasn't just a social media outburst, it was a warning shot. A sign that the rivalry between Reese and Clark is no longer just about basketball, it's about branding, about visibility, about legacy.
Caitlin Clark say something about Angel Reese's mom or anything Angel Reese related? Absolutely not. Why don't you just mind your own business and continue playing basketball and support your daughter, right? That's what you're supposed to do as a mother. Support your daughter and hope she does well in this league, right? Because you don't hear Caitlin Clark going after her, why is she at the Met Gala? It's really unnecessary and very petty of her, especially a grown-ass woman. But now I realize why Angel Reese the way she is, because it's her mom. This pettiness, this insecurity, this bravado, this inflated ego. It stems from the mom, man.
She didn't call out Reese. She didn't shade LSU. She didn't fuel the fire. She lit up the court instead.
Now see, right here, the Fever Brazil game came to 1.3 million viewers. 1.3 million viewers to an exhibition game. Not even a preseason game. An exhibition game. An exhibition game. An exhibition game. They came to an exhibition game. They came to watch an exhibition game. That was a 60-point game, and Caitlin Clark checked out at the end of the third quarter. And it averaged 1.3 million viewers, which is absolutely crazy.
But this isn't just a Clark versus Reese narrative. It's bigger than that. What happened with Reese's mom exposed a deeper truth about the WNBA's media landscape. And while both players carried massive expectations into the WNBA, the coverage wasn't balanced. Clark got the magazine covers, the signature shoe deal, the sold-out arenas. Reese, she got questions about whether she could keep up. So when Clark's ratings crushed the numbers from Reese's preseason debut, the comparisons weren't just inevitable, they were weaponized. Suddenly, Reese's family felt the need to defend her greatness, not on the court, but online.
This pettiness, this insecurity, this bravado, this inflated ego. It stems from the mom, man. It was unnecessary dig. Okay, you're still living off of college. The national title is literally 2 years ago with LSU. We're going on year 3 in a couple months. Why are you still living off that?
Because this wasn't just a game, it was a warning. The WNBA isn't ready for what's coming next.
Why are you still living off that? How about you tell your daughter to work on her jump shot, stop missing layups? She missed a layup in the last preseason game on a fast break.
When Caitlin Clark shattered WNBA viewership records during her rookie season, most fans saw a star cementing her legacy. But off the court, one person wasn't celebrating. She was boiling. Angel Reese's mom didn't just post a reaction. She unleashed a full-blown social media meltdown that made a preseason TV rating feel like a national scandal. Caitlin Clark was lighting up broadcasts, selling out arenas, and stealing headlines without saying a word.
Like, preseason games generally aren't like a big thing in most seasons, but I don't know, this is like the Showtime fever. Like, this is crazy stuff. I mean, even in the first preseason game that Caitlin Clark was out in, the Indiana Fever and the Mystics, like, the Mystics went hard. The Brazilian national team, they went hard. But listen, the Brazilian national team...
Meanwhile, Reese's preseason games barely moved the needle. The ratings were quiet, the coverage was muted, and that silence, it echoed louder than any tweet. So Reese's mom tried to change the story. She turned stats into slights, numbers into narratives. But the problem is, the numbers don't lie. And neither does the scoreboard. But instead of celebrating the sport's growth, she fired shots at the fans, at the media, at the hype machine surrounding Clark.
Well, my goodness. This news will probably leave Angel Reese's mom in shambles at this point. Of course, she's upset.
She didn't name Caitlin directly. She didn't have to. Her post was razor sharp. A certain fan base looking at attendance while we're celebrating championship banners, she tweeted. We are not the same. It was the kind of passive-aggressive message that doesn't need a name to make headlines.
So Caitlin Clark, had almost 15,000 people in that arena, basically sold out at Carver.
The entire arena exploded. Final score, 93-58.
93-58 the final. The largest season opening win in franchise history.
But the real story? Clark's performance was bigger than the box score. The internet couldn't believe what they just saw. ESPN posted, Caitlin Clark is her. Ballast life. That step back was cold. But it wasn't all praise. Some fans claimed the refs protected Clark. Others argued Reese was disrespected. One user said, Clark gets superstar calls already. Another fired back, you can't guard her, so now it's a problem? The takes were wild. The timeline was on fire. And for Reese's mom, that legacy felt under attack. The irony of it all, Caitlin Clark didn't need to say a word. While Angel Reese's mom posted, argued, and deflected attention from what was happening on the scoreboard, Clark simply kept doing what she always does, playing basketball, and not just any basketball. The kind of basketball that sells out arenas, crashes league websites, and forces ESPN to reshuffle its entire broadcast schedule.
Caitlin Clark is really back. And so is that CC motion. Look, I know I've said before, I don't want to talk about repeats, and this topic isn't really brand new, but it feels fresh in a sense because we finally saw Caitlin Clark back out.
And she tweeted this. Oh, that certain fan base looking in the stands celebrating attendance, while others are looking up in the rafters celebrating championships, banners. We ain't the same. Different year, same haters. Have a great day. Well, aren't you the same hater of Caitlin Clark, living off her coattails? I find this highly unnecessary. It sounds like hateration to me. And this is what I mean by insecurities. Insecurity is loud, confidence is quiet.
The tension had been simmering since their college rivalry exploded in the 2023 national title game. That moment, the trash talk, the finger point, the viral memes turned them into polar opposites in the media's eyes. Clark became the silent assassin, Reese, the outspoken challenger.
A preseason WNBA game. Do you understand what I mean? A preseason WNBA game. By the way, why the hell is the Paige Beckers and Angel Reese ratings from Ion Network Friday, why are they MIA right now?
Still, there's something undeniably tragic about watching someone wage war against reality, trying to rewrite public perception with passion instead of performance. It's the sports equivalent of bringing a tweet to a stat fight. But maybe that's the point.
Caitlin Clark literally just playing basketball. I love Caitlin Clark so much. The number one reason is because she's literally being herself and pissing the world off. She isn't doing anything wrong. She's not saying controversial things. She's not out there shaking her booty on IG. She's not trying to get all attention or anything off of non-basketball things. This is strictly basketball.
But one thing everyone agreed on, this rivalry is far from over. This game wasn't just a rematch, it was a message. Caitlin Clark is here to lead, not quietly, but with fire. And if the WNBA wants to grow, this is the moment to amplify. The skill, the emotion, the drama, it all came together tonight. For the Fever, this was more than a win. It was proof. Clark is evolving. For the Sky, it's a wake-up call. And for the league, it just found its headline rivalry. Mark your calendar. The next time Caitlin Clark faces Angel Reese, it might not just break viewership records. It might break the internet.
Indiana Fever just won what I thought was a pretty easy game against the Atlanta Dream, but I want to focus on Caitlin Clark because I think she's gotten 10 times better over the offseason. The number one thing I like about Caitlin Clark in these first two preseason games is that she's been very efficient. In the first game, she was 6 for 10, second game 5 for 11. She could have got some more shots up, but the shots she did get up, she made the majority of it.
That's not disrespect. That's just data. Clark's exhibition game against the Brazilian national team pulled in 1.3 million viewers. Her jersey sales, ticket demand, and social media following all exploded before she played a single regular season minute. It's not hype, it's history. Meanwhile, Reese's mom accused ESPN, the WNBA, and even the fans of favoritism, rigging, and disrespect, all while Clark stayed locked in on the game. So what pushed Angel Reese's mom to the edge? Why did one player's ratings success trigger such a public explosion from someone not even on the court? Because this story isn't just about basketball. It's about pride, pressure, and what happens when someone else becomes the face of the league. And it's not your daughter.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Clark, guard for the Indiana Fever.
Gets bumped, will take, and hit from 3.
The drama didn't start on the court. It started online. Just hours after Caitlin Clark's preseason games pulled in numbers the WNBA had never seen before, including a jaw-dropping 1.3 million viewers for a non-televised exhibition, Angel Reese's mom took to social media.
Saying that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, it's very true with Angel Reese's mom. Now, I don't like to go after people's parents unless they become a story of the sport. In this case, she's part of the story.
The 2025 season opener wasn't just about basketball. It was about a rivalry that now defines the league. From the opening minute, Clark looked locked in. In the first quarter, she buried a deep three that set the tone. By halftime, she had insert points, and the crowd was electric. But it wasn't just scoring. It was the poise, the pace, the leadership. She controlled every possession. Angel Reese fought back, battling on the boards and playing with fire. But every time the Sky closed the gap, Clark answered. And then, in the third quarter, she hit a step-back three over Reese. And it did. The timing? Impossible to ignore. Clark had just wrapped up her second preseason appearance with the Indiana Fever. She was sharp, confident, efficient. She hit 5 of her 11 shots and led her team with a poise that made it clear this wasn't just hype. She was the hype. But Reese's mom couldn't let the numbers speak for themselves. The internet lit up.
She made a couple of comments a couple of days ago about people literally covering statistical data involving attendance. That's a problem. That's hate.
Caitlin Clark say something about Angel Reese's mom or anything Angel Reese related? Absolutely not. Why don't you just mind your own business and continue playing basketball and support your daughter? Right? That's what you're supposed to do as a mother. Support your daughter and hope she does well in this league, right? Because you don't hear Caitlin Clark going after her, going, why is she at the Met Gala? You know? It's really unnecessary and very petty of her, especially a grown-ass woman. But now I realize why Angel Reese the way she is. Because it's her mom.
The players aren't just competing in games, they're competing for attention, for headlines, for influence. And sometimes, the people around them take that fight even further. It's understandable to a point. Angel Reese isn't just a player, she's a symbol of swagger, confidence, and unapologetic self-belief. Her college run made her a star. Her WNBA debut was supposed to continue that rise. But in a league built on narratives, only one person can be the moment. And that person, for now, is Caitlin Clark.
we aren't the same. Okay, I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Reese's supporters applauded her for defending her daughter's legacy, but Clark's fans weren't buying it. "This isn't about banners, it's about bitterness," one user wrote. "Why take shots at a player who's done nothing but elevate the league?" That's what made this blow-up so fascinating. Caitlin Clark hadn't said anything. She didn't subtweet. She didn't clap back. She didn't post cryptic messages or fire off press releases. She just played.
Every time Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark play against each other, it is must-watch basketball. A rivalry that started in college, in the national championship, and Elite Eight has moved on to the WNBA. There is so much interest. They've become two of the most popular players in basketball.
This was not just a basketball game. This was Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. And what happened tonight will be remembered for a long time. From the moment the ball tipped off at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, it was clear this wasn't about a win.